Pareo.
Honestly.
And
the
member right at the back, is that member for Uriri? Those are 4. We'll still take more.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask the PS. The PS has talked about boom. The boom she has talked about, is it per year or is it per month or what?
That has already been answered.
No,
they give twice per year.
Equal amounts or the same amount?
Yes.
Okay.
First semester, 1/2. Second semester, the other half.
Fine. Let me ask my question now. That was not the question, no. Mr. Speaker, yes. You know, going to university, it's not just tuition fees. I had a student who was going from Nehru, and he got very good marks and all that. He had to pay for the whole year accommodation fees before he even is enrolled into the university. Mr. Monari has said they should go. What Honorable Naika has asked, if he goes there, will he be sent back? Yes, he will be sent back because accommodation fees has to be paid up front, the whole amount. So if it is going to be like that, then how are the students going to study? If they do not have the money, accommodation fees may be 50 to 100,000.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just have 2 questions, specifically the first one, the timelines from the date of appeal and the timeline when the decision on what if there's been any change in the banding, how long does it take? Second, Honorable Speaker, the greatest problem in this funding model are the vice chancellors. They come and mislead the PS and the cabinet secretary, but when they go to back to the universities, they give the registrars completely contradictory instructions. For example, I just want to pick up what he has been saying. You have to pay the accommodation fee in advance, yet there is this boom that is coming they're supposed to use. I've seen the chair of the university chancellors as here. Can he give a commitment to this country today, here, that they're not going to contradict whatever decisions they make at the Ministry of Education? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Agnes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And my question, the first question is that I want the PS to clarify to us of the deadline for the application. Because as I heard her speak, she said that 31st was the deadline, and then she said that these students can continue with the application in the schools. So I'm wondering, how will these students go to school, yet they are supposed to pay for the houses where they will stay? Then again, I want to remind them that the constituencies we come from are constituencies where there is no electricity and where there is no network. So at the moment as I was coming yesterday, there were so many students in town trying to struggle to apply for the bursaries. So did they really consider these students who are poor and who come from those areas where there is no network and there is no electricity?
Thank you. Uriri, member for Uriri. Uriri. So go on.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. First, allow me to commend your comments about this kind of funding we have. Because when I was doing my maths here, I realized that all the funding we are talking about can constitute around 80% coming from the government, the universities, of their need. So by declaring universities and colleges free, we'll need only to top 20% and we make it free. And Madam PS, if you ask me, I would suggest that we work towards making university and colleges funding free. And if you can make a proposal to Parliament to consider funding universities and colleges, I think we'll do a better service to the Republic. My last concern, which I want to bring as a suggestion to you, when you look at Kenya as we are talking today, we are one country with a lot of inequalities. You talk about my constituency, you go through Turkana and other areas. There are students who completed their secondary education and expected to go to the university and cannot access network. They cannot apply for all what we are talking about here. They don't have the information we are discussing here today. And if you want to treat these people equally, we must provide equal opportunities and allow them to report to the colleges, and anything which is required of them, let them do at the college level. But let us not expect them to be equal with others and do the same at the family level. It's not possible. Some parents are too ignorant of whatever we are talking about here. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, what's the point of order?
I think the ministry is living in maybe in space, because let them know that in this country or in any African setup, it is the poor that produce more children, because they do not have any TV, they do not have other entertainment. Their only entertainment is to produce children. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, if you want to equate students from national schools, having been perhaps maybe well off, but let me say this, we even try in our local schools to produce students who can go there. Just yesterday, Mr. Speaker, I was sending hostel fee for my student in Laikipia University, because he says, I cannot be admitted. I have to buy them suitcases. I've got to buy them everything. So there is inequality in the first place where teachers are posted. You find schools like Alliance High School, they have all the teachers they require and even more. But in our schools, they do not even have teachers. Yet we even perform well, Mr. Speaker. So let them come out of their, their imagination that it is only schools at national level that perform and perhaps that are actually well off. Let them actually come out, out of that dream. Otherwise, these inequalities are killing us, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
You hijacked that point of order to say something unrelated. Now, PS, we've taken the 4. I'll still give you, members.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I would like to request the Vice Chancellor, Professor Daniel Mugendi, the Chair of all Vice Chancellors, to respond to the issue raised by Honorable Wundo, and the Vice Chancellor for Laikipia University, Professor Rotich, to respond to the issue that was raised by Honorable Ondege on the making university education free. Monari here will respond to the issue raised by Honorable Daud on accommodation fees, and Zuki will respond to the question raised by Honorable Shimba on the family tree and equality. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Vice Chancellor, tell us, are you, Vice Chancellor, the biggest problem in this setup? That's what. Yes, KJ, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, the opportunity has been given to a Vice Chancellor. Maybe this would be the right time for them to answer a question that you asked that was glossed over. And the bigger question was on communication, Mr. Speaker. You did ask where the disconnect is between the ministry and the universities.
Your mic is off. Use the next mic.
Mr. Speaker, now that the opportunity has been given to a Vice Chancellor, maybe this would be the opportunity to answer a question that you had asked to Madam PS, but was glossed over. Mr. Speaker, you had asked, is there a disconnect between what the ministry is saying and what the universities are doing? And even on that, Mr. Speaker, the channels of communication, is it all being left to be communicated by the President, where the Minister, the PS, the HELB, and all other people who attend to these issues in the Ministry of Education are mute to a point where you have had to call a Kamukunji to explain it to members of parliament. These members of parliament are good consumers of media. They are very well versed with what is happening on the ground, but they still do not understand this funding model, Mr. Speaker, meaning that the communication that we are being given here today is not trickling down to the ground. We are being told that they are using a multi-channel approach, which includes, I don't know, digital media, social media, and other medias. Mr. Speaker, the point is that all that has been said prior to today has not communicated to the publics in the way that it should. So now, could the Vice Chancellor tell us, are the Vice Chancellors sabotaging the communication? Are they part of the problem, or are they part of the solution that we are seeking, Mr. Speaker? Thank you very much. And this is in terms with the flow of communication. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Vice Chancellor? Who do you want to inform?
Mr. Speaker, I would want to inform my brother, Honorable KJ.
He's over the floor.
It's a very important point, Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead.
Last week on Saturday, the good professor of Embu. Yes. No.
Mr. Speaker.
Can I, Mr. Speaker?
I hope you are not attempting to answer for him.
No. I'm just informing that Professor Mugendi, I had an occasion in my constituency where a team from Embu University came to the function to communicate to the function which I had about the university funding model. Mr. Speaker, I'm not trying to protect Professor Mugendi in any way.
Order. Take your seat. Order. Take your seat, please. Take your seat.
I do not want to be informed. Find him out of order.
Honorable Ruku. Order. Honorable Ruku, when I last checked, you are not a Vice Chancellor. Vice Chancellor, can you respond to those concerns?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members. I have two issues that I've been asked to respond on. The first one was on the issue of if the students come to our universities and they have not been able to pay the household component, whether we allow them to continue standing. And I want to answer in the affirmative, yes. And we have said that there is no student who should be turned away because they have not been able to pay the full household component. Every university has a mechanism that we have put in place to ensure that students will be able to pay the household component as they study. And many of us, the arrangements that are in place is that if they're able to keep paying something small, then they continue doing it, so that by the time we get to the end of the semester and we are about to do the exam, then they should have finished paying. So I want to say that we have communicated very clearly. We have communicated very clearly that to the VCs that they shouldn't be turning away the students.
Yes,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.